Hello, and once again, welcome to Steven Talks to the Void. This is my week daily news video show where I talk about the stuff that's happening in video game news and other things. And yes, that's Kyle Bossman in the background. He's really good. I just wanted to have something in the background going on, so in case you don't want to watch me, you can watch something else, or you could actually just minimize the tab that you're watching this on and then go watch it in a different window. But why would you do that when you could have me talking about random stuff, such as the Godus designer? Now, Godus was basically a Kickstarter game back in 2012. It got funded, overly funded, like usual some of these Kickstarters go on, and the game's been in development, released for mobile. However, for the PC platform, still hasn't received a update for quite some time. I remember Anthony Gallegos, a good person that I like to watch him stream games on his Twitch channel. He streamed this game a while back, and it actually looked pretty good. But unfortunately, apparently, they're not going to be able to deliver on a lot of their goals that they reached on the Kickstarter. Basically, they overpromised and will be under-delivering when the final product comes out, which will probably be quite some time from now. But yeah, another Kickstarter game that kind of is a little screwed up. So don't know what that says about Kickstarter. Probably not the best option to go through if you want to do your games and stuff. Patreon, I don't know. I don't think Patreon's actually that much better, but I'll probably talk about that some other time. Birdman, Johnny Depp was apparently supposed to make a cameo appearance in the ending. Basically, he would start the cycle over again, where once Michael Keaton, was in the hospital, spoilers for Birdman, once Michael Keaton's in the hospital after blowing his nose off with the gun, he basically goes off, and then Johnny Depp, we see him in the same kind of position that we saw Michael Keaton in at the beginning, where he's looking in the mirror, and there's a poster in the background. However, the poster is for Pirates of the Caribbean 5, which isn't out yet. And so it basically Johnny Depp, and then it is, Johnny Depp, Captain Jack Sparrow voice would say, how did we end up here? Basically, that would be it. And it would start the circle all over again, and will the circle ever be unbroken? Probably not. Shadow Realms, a BioWare 4-on-1 asymmetrical game, is canceled. So, yeah, that's not going to happen anymore. This was revealed at Gamescom. Rumors of this game were flying around for quite some time. For some reason, the IGN articles dated back to, 2008, I think, when they were doing an interview with somebody after Dragon Age Origins, I believe it was. For some reason, I don't know, Shadowrun was somehow linked to that article. But anyway, this game was revealed at Gamescom. Is going to be a 4-on-1 asymmetrical, just like Evolve, which comes out tomorrow, which I might or may not get, don't know yet. So it looked kind of a lot like Dragon Age Origin, or not Dragon Age Origin, Dragon Age Inquisition's multiplayer mode, except there would be the bad guy who would basically be the dungeon master, could set up traps, set up monsters, and as the heroes would go through, he would try to stop them. And that's basically what it would be. But it looked kind of cool, but not going to happen anymore. Why? Because BioWare is going to be focusing on new and old IPs, even though this was a new IP, I guess it's not that important. Instead, they got to focus on new ones, including Star Wars The Old Republic, which is kind of a dying MMO that nobody's really into, so I don't know why they would focus on a sinking ship, but hey, I guess, every good captain has to go down with it. Evolve, yes, Evolve, like I mentioned before, comes out tomorrow. A lot of reviews and reviews in progress are coming out for it. Seems pretty competent, not super interested in it. The way the grinding aspect comes in, I'm not that into it, but my friends are picking it up. One or two of them are actually, not a whole ton. I don't have that many friends. But anyway, one or two of them are picking it up, and I kind of feel like I should, but I still have Grim Fandango and Apotheon to play through and finish, and then Dragon Age Inquisition, and a lot of other games. I don't know. I don't want to get bogged down by all these games. There's too many already. There's too many games. It's not even March. Speaking of games, Resident Evil in January, which I didn't play because there's too many things to play, was the best-selling title on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3, which is good for Capcom, I guess. Their financials not that great at all recently. They've been suffering, so this hopefully helped them, although, sometimes companies think that their game's going to meet this expectation, which it never does, Nintendo. And so we'll see if Resident Evil met their expectations or failed miserably. Other than that, I've been playing Grim Fandango. It's still very tough. It's got a lot of the things where you have an item and it's supposed to unlock this. To progress, you have to use this item with this other thing in the world, and then you take that to another place and interact with a different item, and that opens up the progression, and it's just, I don't know, it's not intuitive at all. It doesn't tell you anything. You have to figure it out on your own. However, everything in the world kind of looks the same, or at least everything blends in together, so the only way to really kind of tell if it's interactable is if Manny Calavera, the main character, if his head turns in a certain direction as you're walking past it. However, that's a problem because sometimes the camera is so far pulled back that the movement, the subtle movement of his head moving to tell you that this is interactable, it doesn't make sense, or at least you don't see it. Not that it doesn't make sense. The part that doesn't make sense is when you have to basically pull every item out and see, oh, well, which item do I have to use on this? Because sometimes it's like, oh, well, do I use my... No, he's saying I don't. This doesn't make sense. So I put the scythe back in, and you pull out the little turkey bastard, and you're like, all right, well, do I use this? And it's like, no, you don't use that either. It's like, oh my, I can't do it. I can't do it. I even have a guide, but I'm like, even with the guide, I'm just like, I'm probably not going to finish this. I don't know. It's too long. It's too counterintuitive. It's not fun. Like, I like the story a lot. The voice acting is really good, but it's not fun. And I don't know. So, but I've been playing Apotheon, which I'll talk about now. But Apotheon's a lot, like, better. It's more fun. Like, I know it's very self-explanatory and very, like, I mean, literally on the screen, there will be little arrows that will point you towards the objective, except for one point where I couldn't figure out how the hell I'm supposed to get the item from Demeter. You're supposed to go into Hades. There's no arrow, so I didn't know. So I had to use my brain to remember back like a week ago when I played this, and it was Demeter, and I talked to her for the first time. You have to find Persephone. Anyway, I'm meandering. So yeah, Apotheon's very easier to understand, easier to know what you're doing and how to do it, and I like that more. It's also fun. The combat, at first I thought it was wonky, like I talked about, but I'm actually getting a lot better at it, to where it's all about timing. It's about the way that you go over. If they have the shield up, you want to go over. You want to change your item to do a mallet, which can even hurt them when they have the shield, unless the sword, because then the sword, it'll just break, it'll break the shield, but it'll also break your weapon too a lot quicker than it would if you were just killing them or hitting their body with the sword. So I don't know. I like it a lot more. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely Metroidvania where you have to go back and use your abilities or the things that you have, the equipment that you have now to unlock different areas. You have to go find a key in this one area that goes all the way back to this other area that you were at, so you can get the chest and get that completion rating. So it kind of ticks into that whole like completionist sort of vibe. So last minute news actually is Spider-Man, just breaking right before I recorded this actually, this broke. Spider-Man will be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe on July 28th, 2017. Now, it's still owned by Sony, but it will be able to be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So this is cool. However, I don't know how big it will be long-term wise, because again, it has a release date already. It's like that. It hasn't even entered into production, but you already have a release date. That's really weird. And Marvel does this because when they revealed the whole like Phase 3, it was like, oh man, it's like you have this planned out until like 2020. It's like that's so far in advance, and you already are just like, oh well, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna release on this date, and it's just like, what the heck are you doing? You don't even like, what happens if it needs to be delayed? Like, are you actually gonna delay it, or are you gonna be like, no, we set that goal, you have to hit it. It doesn't matter if it's crap, but you gotta get it out. So I don't know, that's weird. But yeah, again, it's like, did they plan for this? Did they know Spider-Man was gonna be it? Are they gonna now have to incorporate him into certain things? Like, I mean, Captain America: Civil War happens. I mean, he was kind of a big deal in that overall arcing story, and then they're also missing a lot of other characters anyway, which were pretty important to the Marvel Civil War thing. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but I don't know. Spider-Man's cool. He was one of my favorite superheroes as a kid. He still kind of is. I remember watching Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I mean, a lot of people hated that movie. I thought it was fine, but like I was watching that movie again, I'm like, man, I wish I was Spider-Man. That'd be so cool, just swinging webs and fighting crime and stuff. But then again, it's like you actually probably wouldn't find that much crime anyway. But yeah, that's about it for this week or this day. I'm sorry I didn't do a video on Friday. I was playing Smash Brothers at a friend's house and having fun with people, socializing. It's an important thing. But yeah, today I had off, so I just played Apotheon all day and recorded a lot of videos of that, which we'll be processing throughout the night and then publishing tomorrow. And yep, so that's it, and thank you for watching.